What's up, everybody? It's your main man Bennett back here again, aka Commissioner Ben, and welcome back to the Not Your Mama's Fantasy Football League Volume 3, the Revenge Year, and we're going into the Week 14, aka Week 1 of the Fantasy Football Playoffs. And these are still some power rankings as well as some year-end awards. And you know what? I'm just so excited to make this video and to share it with you guys. And no, I'm not. So, okay, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another installment of this video series, with which there are only but so many. And let's just get right into it. If you've been paying attention, then you know where you stand for the most part. But before I get into the descending order of rankings and take a look at the playoff picture as well as some playoff matchups, so if you want to skip this first part, go for it. But I'm going to announce some just awards for the year. So we're going to start with the gentleman that made the most waiver wire transactions all year, and that of course goes to no other than the MisAdventures of Robinson Kelso. So let's give a little hand for Tanner's team. They had 61 total transactions. That's a lot of transactions. Probably too many, maybe not enough. Either way, good for you. I thought that was worth noting. Another award is the least points scored all year, and that goes to Kicking It with Young Ho, formerly AB Unworn Helmet, transitioned to Kicking It with Young Ho, scored 1,304 points over the 13 weeks, and that is the least for the year. So, how about we move on to the most points scored against them all year, and that goes to Master Cook. Allen's team, they ultimately faced the most competition. They played against the highest point total of anybody. Their opponent throughout the year ended up scoring 1,545 points. That being said, you know, Allen, you know, we'll get into it later, but he had a valiant effort. Got really, really close, all things considered. So better luck next year, I suppose, but we'll get into those details later. Another award is the least points scored in a single week. Belongs to two teams, and that is the Cream Dudes and Team Diaper Funds of all teams. And that occurred in week 8 and week 13. They scored 66 points. Lowest point total of any team in any given week was 66. Both those teams did it. Moving right along. How about the most points scored in a single week? It's probably Michael's team, right? It's probably Corey's team, right? Wrong again. Belongs to Team Robs. Team Robs, it's my brother from the same mother, in week number 3 scored 182.5 points. That's the most points anyone scored all year. So let's give it up for him. Best point total, that was huge. It was the week 3 Tyler Lockett went crazy in the Seattle game, and that kind of put him over the edge. That also leads into my next award to announce, which is the biggest margin of victory. Biggest margin of victory, you probably would guess it, belonged to Team Robs. That week 3, he took on Master Cook that week, and he won by 91 points. 91. Biggest point margin. That's, I mean, he almost could cut his point total in half that week and have still gotten the victory. Just super impressive win there. We also have the most number of weeks with the most points. That belongs to the Kittle Prescott Memorial team. That's right, they had 3 weeks, weeks 4, 7, and 13, where they scored the most points of any given team. We also have the most points scored all year, belongs to Kittle Prescott Memorial team. You probably could guess that, with 1,514.5 points. Good for you, Michael. It's probably why you're in the playoffs and have a chance to make it to monies. Let's get into it. Descending order, 10 to the 1. I'm not going to really go into, I'm just going to list these guys. I don't really have much to say. Maybe I'll give a little note here and there. We start with worst to the best. 10 to the 1, up to the thing, blah, blah, blah. So the 10th place team in the rankings is Kicking It with Young Ho. Ended with a record of 5-8, tied for last place with a number of other teams. So, you know, the truth of the matter is, the last place team, with which there are 4 of them, technically, they're tied for that last slot, we're only 1 game back from the 4th placed team, which also there was a 3-way tie for 4th place. But isn't that crazy? I thought that was nuts that the teams that did not do well kept kind of creeping up, and the teams that were in the middle of the pack kind of started to fall off and kind of blurred it all together. So 10th place, kicking it with Young Ho. Thank you for playing, Samuel, and better luck next year if you'd like to play. Next, we have the 9th place team. 9th place team in his rankings is the Bongtown Herbologists. They are down a couple slots. They scored the lowest of the, some points there. We're giving them the 9th place position, although 9th, 8th, 10th, 4th, there's really not that big of a difference. Obviously, the Bongtown Herbologists, they got Christian McCaffrey with their first pick. Didn't work out for them all year, and it did until it didn't. I mean, they were doing pretty good until C-Mac went down. Next, we have the 8th place team. 8th place team in these year rankings is the Cream Dudes, another 5 and 8 team. Adam had a couple good flare-ups of some good performances. Overall, could not get it done. We're going to move on to the 7th place team, and that, of course, is the MisAdventures of Robinson Kelso, my buddy Tanner. Tanner the Turner, turning the tables. And, he tried hard. Gotta love it. Better luck another time. We're going to move on to the 6th place team. That's 5 plus the 1 is the 6, and that, of course, goes to Master Cook. This is where then we have our first couple of 6 and 7 teams. Master Cook, of course, had that important battle with Whitney at the end of the year, and of course my battle with my brother Evan. Those were 2 monumental matchups, and to the victor goes the spoils, as they say. So Master Cook came in 6th place. 6th place might as well be, whatever. Alan, you did good though, buddy. You did good there, bud. Better luck next year. So we go to the 5th place team. That's 5 minus the 1. That's the 5th place team, and of course we already know 5th place team is Bennett's house. Commissioner Ben back here and again, supremely disappointed in myself. I went back in, and I don't need to get the details too hairy, but what can I say? I thought I was going to win it all, and now I'm winning nothing. Some of my victory, or my defeats, were by just a little bit. I had the opportunity to win several key matchups, including the one I just had against Team Robs, where if I had won, I would have been in the fantasy playoffs. Had I just played Tannehill instead of Kyler Murray, I'd be in. Just like that. But it's almost fitting that I did this to myself. I don't give Evan full credit. I give myself full credit for losing. I lost. Me. So, we move on now to the playoff teams. So, you probably know who you are. 4th place team in this here rankings is assuredly in the playoff picture. It's Team Robs with a 6 and 7 record. You might be asking yourself, but Ben, why is Evan in if you have a 6 and 7 record and Master Cook is a 6 and 7 record? It's because Evan beat Master Cook twice and he beat me once. That's how it works. Okay? All right? That's how it works. So, Evan's in 4th. Good job, Evan. You have a chance here going against the 1st seed. We'll have a look at that matchup in a moment. The 3rd place team in these year rankings is Lil Russ X. X gonna give it to you. Wakanda forever. Whitdo coming through though, and he is here. He's been here. He's been like the silent observer. This guy auto-drafted his first 2 picks. I'm sweating. I'm getting so excited. Also, this light's kind of hot. Whitney's been the silent player, just creeping on creep till I creep till I'm creeping. But I damn near got caught because Whitney kept winning. That's from something. Ended up with an 8 and 5 record. Locked himself in the playoffs with a Week 13 victory. He's got some good players. We're going to take a look at his matchup here in a minute. Whitney, proud of you, babe. Proud of you, babe. Did I say bud or babe? Proud of you, babe. So let's move on to the 2nd place team. 2nd place team in these here rankings is the Kittle Prescott Memorial Team. That is right, it is Michael's team. Ended the year with a 9 and 4 record, a well-deserved place in the fantasy playoffs. What can we say? He's been at around the 2nd place pretty much all year. First and second, he's been right there. And of course, the number one team in these here rankings is going into the fantasy playoffs. The number one team. He's been number one for a hell of a long time, over almost two months it seems. That'd be Team Diaper Funds. Let's hear for the chorus. Let's hear for the boys. So that's the four. That's the playoff picture. Seed number 1 against seed number 4 is the is the Team Diaper Funds against Team Robs. That is happening. We also have the Kittle Prescott Memorial Team against Lil Russ X. That is happening. Okay, some notes on these matchups here. We'll take a quick peek. I'll do it in a little voice here.
So, the top shining, swinging dick of all the year against a guy no one thought would even make the playoffs and totally did.
Evan's very specific victories against 6 and 7 teams earned his ass the 4th place slot, and a quick breakdown is as follows. Corey's team, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry, Adam Thielen. That's why he's here. Those 4, okay? That's why. The other tantalizing elements like the Melvin Gordons of the world and the Deebo Samuels, fine. It's window dressing. Those are the 4 guys. Those are why Corey is here. Quick peek at Evan's team. He's rolling with Dalvin Cook, Tom Brady, Darren Waller the Baller, Tyler Lockett. Those are the 4 guys. That's why Evan's here, especially week 13. Waller the Baller put up more points than I think any tight end has ever done in fantasy history. At least it's like a top 5 game. It was incredible. He scored like 40 points. For a tight end, that's impressive. Especially this year, where tight ends haven't done anything. He also has people like Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Austin Eckler. So, looking at face value, I will give the edge to Corey because he is the first seed. He's kind of earned the advantage in my eyes. But I will I did notice, and I am noticing, I'm still contemplating this. I'm looking over to the side of the camera, I'm going to look back to the camera, is that Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, they're going up against the Miami Dolphins this week. And Dolphins got a really good D. They got a good defense. We'll see. I did also notice that Corey and Evan have played before. They've actually played twice this year. Both times Corey got the victory. Corey beat Evan already twice. So you would think, well, Corey's in like Flynn. He's just going to wipe the floor with Team Robs. But the average margin of victory in those wins is only 5.5 points. 5.5. One was less, one was more. You average it out, whatever. So, although I'm giving Corey the edge, I think he stumbled upon an opponent that he literally did the worst against. Yes, he won in those matchups, but compared to all the other matchups that he won, this was the most narrow margin of victory. I think. I literally just made that up. Just made it up. Sounded good. So this will be an interesting one. Good luck to both of you guys. First seed against the 4th seed. What else can we say? I think I did enough. So the other matchup, of course, is Prescott. The Prescott.
Prescott? I hate. I'm full of hate. Full of hate. Full of hate. Full of hate. Full of hate.
Okay, I'll try it again. The Kittle Prescott Memorial Team. Okay, they're going against Lil Russ X. We've been through this. We already know. Michael has led the league 3 separate weeks. We know this. Whitney's team ended up being ranked 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9th overall in total points scored. Think you that for a second there, okay? Think of you that. Thinky. Whitney's team, 3rd place overall, 9th place in total points scored. What does that mean? It means that scored the 9th most out of 10. Means he got real lucky in some of these matchups, I say. That's what I'm thinking. Either way, quick look at these teams. Michael's rocking the Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen. That's why he's here. Those guys have played great, admirably. I also think that a sneaky good player that he's been rolling with is Jarvis Landry. Jarvis has done some great things. Outside of that, Sterling Shepard, David Montgomery, Devontae Booker, and Kiki Kuti. That's who he's rolling with. That's what he's got going on. And it looks as though, unless changes are made in the coming days, he will be rolling with Taysom Hill as his quarterback in the playoffs, which is very risky. A lot of upside, a lot of potential downside. Risky maneuver or genius. Let's take a look also at Whitney's team, made up of Deshaun Watson, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, and Juju Smith-Schuster. A reminder to everyone at home or wherever you're watching this. Whitney auto-drafted his first 2 picks. Who were they? Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake. Would you have picked those? No. No one in this league of the 10 would have gone back-to-back first, second round picking those 2 guys. There's no way. None of you would have done it. You wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have happened. Whitney wouldn't have did it. None of it would have ever done it. But it happened. How did that work out for him? Well, it turns out Kenyon Drake is ranked 12th at his position. Kenyon Drake, 12th ranked running back in fantasy for the year. That's not bad. For such a, miscalculation, that ain't bad. Now, Miles Sanders, he ended up being ranked 25th. Sounds a little worse, but he missed a few games, and he plays for the Eagles. So actually 25th, I think that's vastly impressive considering the team he's on and the fact that he missed time. Kenyon Drake also missed at least 1 game, I think. So, I mean, the computer don't lie. The computer knows what it's doing. We should all just auto draft, I think. So, that being said, the edge in this one I think goes to the superior seed for their overall performance this year. They did miss Kittle. They did miss Dak Prescott. But they didn't. They still made it all the way into second place. But I'm going to give it to them because of their historically higher point total. Overall, Michael's just been able to figure it out. And that's all I got. Those are the 2 key matchups this week for the fantasy playoffs. Good luck to all 4 of you guys. And thanks everyone for watching along the way. That's all I got. Commissioner Ben signing off. Go Hawks.